Wing is king in the NBA, as small forward is the most important position in the league. In today's video, I'm going to break down the top 10 threes in the association heading into the 2023 season. If you missed my top 10 point guard and shooting guard rankings, you can find those videos in the description below. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 10, Michael Porter Jr. One of the most dynamic pure scorers in the NBA, MPJ lived up to that reputation last season, averaging 17.4 points per game while shooting an impressive 41.4% from beyond the arc. Porter Jr. seemed to finally crack the code of what Nuggets head coach Michael Malone was looking for down the stretch, playing a key role in Denver's run to the title. There are still plenty of areas we'd like to see MPJ improve on, specifically defense and creating for others. But at the end of the day, you can count on him to put the ball in the basket at an elite rate when called upon. Number 9, OG Anunoby. Raptors fans know OG is one of the most underrated players in the league. This season, he's looking to put the rest of the NBA on notice. Anunoby is coming off another fantastic campaign in which he averaged 17 points, shooting 38.7% from 3, while racking up just under 2 steals a night. OG doesn't shoot nearly as much as most of the other players on this list, but with Fred VanVleet now in Houston and a Pascal Siakam trade looking like a real possibility, he could be primed for a significantly expanded offensive role in 2023. Don't be shocked if he's climbed these rankings this time next offseason. Number 8, DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan being ranked this low is a testament to how deep the small forward position is around the league, as he's still one of the most dynamic scorers out there. DeMar may be 34, but he hasn't shown his age over the last few years. DeRozan revived his career in Chicago to a certain extent after a few subpar seasons in San Antonio, at least according to his standards. Last year, the star wing put up 24.5 points, 5.1 assists, and 4.6 rebounds per game, showcasing his trademark efficiency from the mid-range while shooting above 50% from the field. The one major knock on DeRozan is that his individual efforts have never translated to significant postseason success, but there's only so much one player can do at the end of the day. It's yet to be seen how much longer DeRozan can keep up this level of play, but as of now, he deserves a spot on this list, and some could argue he should be ranked higher. Number 7, Mikal Bridges. Am I taking a relatively limited sample size into heavy consideration when ranking Bridges over DeRozan, who is by far the more established star? Yes, I am. Bridges showed what he was capable of as the number 1 option in 27 games with the Nets last year, averaging 26 points and 4.5 rebounds per game, while still maintaining his strong defensive upside. Brooklyn made no significant additions this offseason, which demonstrates their confidence in Mikal as the guy moving forward. After watching him down the stretch last season, I can't blame them for making that call either. About to turn 27 years old, there's still time for Bridges to take another leap and establish himself as a top 3 or 4 wing in the league over the next few years. Number 6, Paul George. Let's get ahead of this right away. Paul George is not the only Clipper on this list. His running mate will make an appearance down the line. Before I see people complaining about how 2 players from the same team can be listed at the same position, that's just the reality of this situation. Both George and Kawhi Leonard have been small forwards for virtually their entire careers. The Clippers just happen to play them both on the wing simultaneously. So, now that we've settled that, let's talk about George, who is still an elite 2-way talent at 33 years old. PG-13 was fantastic once again last year, averaging 24, 6, and 5 while racking up 1.5 steals per contest. The issue for George has never been his level of play, but rather his lack of availability, as injuries have really plagued him over the last few seasons. That said, when he's on the floor, he's still one of the best players in the league, period, not just one of the best small forwards. Number 5, Brandon Ingram. All of the attention is on Zion Williamson in New Orleans on and off the court, but Ingram played like a legitimate number 1 option last season, averaging a career high 24.7 points, 5.8 assists, and 5.5 rebounds per game. Ingram's development as a playmaker has been a revelation over the last 4 years, and he also raised his 3-point percentage from 32.7 in 2021 to 39 last year. Like a number of players on this list, availability has been the biggest concern for Ingram, as he hasn't played more than 55 games in back-to-back seasons. Besides that, all signs continue to point upward for the Star Wing's trajectory entering his 8th NBA campaign. Number 4, Kawhi Leonard. The other Clippers small forward didn't miss a beat in his return from injury, earning him a top 4 spot in these rankings. In reality, all three of George, Ingram, and Leonard are extremely close, but I'm giving the edge to Kawhi. Entering this season, there were serious concerns about Leonard's play dropping off after tearing his ACL, but he was as sharp as ever, averaging 24 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1.4 steals per game. Known as an elite mid-range shooter, Kawhi has quietly expanded his range over the years, and he shot a very impressive 41.6% from beyond the arc in 2022. He may not be the best two-way player in the league anymore, but when Leonard's healthy, he's a monster on both ends of the court. Number 3, Jimmy Butler. Butler is one of the most unique players in today's game. From a talent perspective, you can make a case that he ranks last in this list, and he certainly isn't as skilled as Kawhi, Ingram, or George. That said, the guy just impacts winning at the highest level year after year. Jimmy actually had his best statistical season since 2017 last year, averaging 23 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and just fewer than 2 steals per game. He's been the best player on a team that has been to the finals twice in the last 4 years. In both of those seasons, the Heat truly had no business making it that far. Jimmy just led them there. The odds have been against Butler every step of the way, but he continues to defy them, and he absolutely has earned the number 3 spot in these rankings. Number 2, LeBron James. The King no longer reigns supreme among the rest of the small forwards in the NBA, but he's still putting up ridiculous numbers at 38 years old. Last year, LeBron racked up 29 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists per game, helping lead the Lakers back to the Western Conference Finals. While the numbers are still off the charts, there have been clear signs of age taking its toll on James over the last couple of years. When both he and Anthony Davis are truly at their best, you can make the case that AD is the superior player. We just don't see it that often. Up until this past season, you could argue that LeBron was still the best small forward in the league. In fact, he almost certainly was. But after 2022, he has officially been demoted to number 2. Number 1, Jayson Tatum. Tatum finally took that next step forward Celtics fans have been waiting for, averaging 30.1 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 4.6 assists per game last season, which were all career highs. The superstar has established himself as a top 5 player in the game, with only MVP and banner 18 for Boston left on the bucket list. Along with being the most skilled offensive small forward in the league, Tatum is also a truly elite defender, making a case as the best two-way player in the NBA when he's trying his hardest on that end of the floor. One thing that sets Tatum apart from so many of the other players on these rankings is his consistent availability. He's played 74 plus games in back-to-back years, and the Celtics have actually had to force him to rest on multiple occasions. The same just can't be said for LeBron, Kawhi, Ingram, and in reality, most of the rest of this list, as those guys miss significant time consistently. At just 25 years old, Tatum has a firm stranglehold on the number 1 spot in these rankings. Those are my top 10 small forwards entering the 2023 NBA season. Stay tuned for my top 10 power forwards next week.